What's up, Patreon? Jason here. I got about an hour before my next lesson, a little less, 45 minutes. So I thought I'd do a check-in. First of all, it's linked below. I'm jamming to Petty Music Studios' Smooth Jazz Fusion in B minor. And I'm playing an A harp in third position. There's some of the double stops you were asking about. It's one of the big reasons I favor third over fourth and fifth is I get that minor triad. So I can play little partial chords. Anyway, so kind of mostly using the pentatonic. I'm kind of toying with a little Aeolian now. So anyway, there's a little harmonica update. So I want to thank all the new Patreons. Welcome. I think this is blog 22 or 21. So if you haven't checked out any of the past vlogs, check them out. Get to know me a little better and what we do over here. I'm really excited that this is becoming more and more of a community. Some of my longtime students and just some of the more active typers are talking to each other here on Patreon, on my page. And I can't tell you how happy that makes me that people are getting together over music, you know, and that it's happening here. It's like the Beatles song, Come Together, over me, right? But I'm happy to see you coming together regardless of me, right? But it is cool that it's happening here. So let's see. A couple of things that have been on my mind. Videos have been coming out. I've been trying to keep up with the Free Fridays. Haven't missed one, and geez, it's been like a year and a half or so. We got a blues story coming out this Friday. It's a short little one on Paul DeLay. Some of you guys have already heard it, all right? So I apologize for that, but that's one of the reasons I'm doubling down and getting Patreon going. I'm toying with the idea of starting a new YouTube channel that's more about like the kind of stuff we do here. It might have other things going on in there, but we'll see. I don't know that I have time for that. Speaking of time, so thanks to all the Patreon people that jumped up and booked lessons. I am now solid booked, and I apologize to anybody that didn't get in time. I meant to take one or two of you guys, and I ended up taking 7 because I have such a hard time saying no. Gigs are being added slowly around New Orleans, some good gigs. I got some work with Chawa again. I didn't have a very good first gig with them, so I'm surprised I got the call back. So that's exciting. So one of the things I was thinking about talking about, I almost put this video on YouTube today instead, but I just feel safer here than going on YouTube. But I think I am going to put something up about this subject, which is like the business, the music business. And I get a lot of people writing me, not a lot, but a few people writing me asking questions about, well, how come this has happened for you, or how does this happen for me? sometimes some of the comments can be like even aggressive. People maybe just commenting on a post I made, like, okay, like recently the Blues Music Award. So by the way, I got the nomination certificate here somewhere. It finally, oh yeah, here it is. So it finally came in, right? So this is my, I don't know how many nominations. I've had a bunch, but this is this year's for Instrumentalist Harmonica. I've only ever been nominated in one other category, and it was like Blues Rock Album of the Year. That was way back in 2010, and I didn't win. But I've won the harmonica category a couple of times. So anyway, look. So somebody wrote on Facebook, right? They wrote, of course it's on Facebook, okay? So I put up my little video, the funny video that Kate and I made, right? And the guy wrote, let's see, he said, oh, come on now, we need awards to tell us we're great, right? That was one of the things he wrote. Okay. And then I said, of course not, but the awards are a wonderful way to support the Blues Foundation, which helps artists in so many ways, from health to finances, as well as their careers. The Blues Music Awards, like almost all awards, are of course a long-standing tradition of supporting and celebrating the hard work and sacrifices that so many artists do and make, and a wonderful thing to watch our friends and heroes receive. And then he wrote back, I do what I do for the love of it, not for an award or someone to judge me. So I wrote back, I said, hey bro, I think it's fair to say every single artist nominated here also does this purely for the love of music as well. These awards are to celebrate, not to judge, and are given out by people who have dedicated their entire lives to music, and to people who have done the same for years by an organization that helps artists with medical need and disaster relief, etc., etc., etc. All right, so you get it, right? So look, and then he goes on to say that he says, like, how come I didn't get the award, basically, right? Like, so yeah. And yet there are a lot of blues artists that get no praise. I do a Blues Brothers tribute show and have been told that because of that we do not count, even though we have an awesome jump blues band as well. If people want to show support, why not give us all blues artists more bookings? I blame the entertainment directors and agents, too much biased. I've been playing harmonica for over 30 years. So look, I'm not trying to point this guy out, okay? That's not the point, okay? I don't want you to go find this post on Modern Blues Harmonica and come to the Jason Ricci Army of Defense. I actually think that this is good, that this is here, and this is one, because I get to talk about it, because this I've had those thoughts too when I was a lot younger, like about this, the way this guy is kind of talking and thinking. All right. Let me kind of dissect that a little bit. Okay. So I do a Blues Brothers tribute show, right? Okay, well, I don't think it's fair to blame the Blues Music Awards for not recognizing a tribute band. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think the Grammys have an award for Best Tribute Band of the Year. If you want to be an artist, there's nothing wrong with being in a tribute band, but you sort of need to accept that you're probably not going to win any awards for being in a tribute band unless there's like some kind of tribute band award show, right? Which there probably is somewhere, right? But like when you're putting on a costume, okay, and dressing up and doing other people's music exclusively, first of all, you get paid a lot more. Right, so that's your compensation, right? So that's just the first sentence. Even though we have an awesome jump blues band as well, well, you didn't even name the jump blues band, so I can't even tell you if I've ever heard of it. And if people want to show support, why not give us all blues artists more bookings? I blame the entertainment directors and agents. Okay, look, I wrote this piece of writing It's on here on Patreon. It's called Stay in College. And it's about this subject. You can't blame entertainment director. I mean, sure, you can blame them. You can blame them all you want, but that's not going to get you more bookings. You can't expect people to come and find you and put you to work. You need to go out and get work, right? And once you get work, lots of work, those agents, okay, those festivals and stuff, they will start to come to you the minute that you no longer need them. Okay, that's how it works, right? And it's not just blues. It's not just music. That's like every single thing in the world, right? Like you're not going to get a job at a law firm unless, first of all, you're a lawyer and you've had some training and you can prove to them that you've had some training. And probably when you have your own group of clients, that's when a law firm, a big famous law firm, is going to go, well, hey, look, this guy here, if we hire him, he already comes to the table with clients. Well, an agent's no different. Right? They want you to come to the table with your own group of clubs that they're going to get. There has to be motivation for them to want to book you. So I encourage people to look at the fact that there's a second word in there. There's music and then there's business. And if you want to be in the music business and get paid and get gigs and stuff, you need to treat it like a business. And the first thing to doing that is not blaming people for you not getting gigs. So anyway, it's not like I'm not well acquainted with that argument. And I wrote that huge thing, Stay in College, and I mean, I even thought about today just reading it and kind of updating it to today's terms because it's 12 years old now at this point. But yeah. So like, the other thing is people don't realize that like what I was trying to tell them is that have like dedicated their lives to music. So that, and I used the word sacrifice. So look. Somebody put up a post the other day. I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody I like. And they said, the act of making art is selfish. And then they wrote, like, go. Okay? It was somebody I admire. And, you know, like most stuff on Facebook, I stayed out of it. But that's why we got Patreon here. Yes, it is. It is. It's selfish. Okay? But at the same time, right, like you're giving up a lot of things that normal people have, namely security. Okay, where is my next meal coming from, my next rent check? You're taking a chance. And again, this isn't any different with music than it is with any small business. Like when you go to work for somebody else, there's health insurance, there's jobs, right? There's a paycheck that happens every single week, right? When you go to work for yourself, no matter what business it is, whether it's music or landscaping or starting your own restaurant or anything, you're running the risk of not being able to play. You're also generally, if it's your band, right, or your business, you're employing other people. You now have the responsibility of feeding other people. In the beginning, that you're going to have to put yourself second. And you know, even today, I have to put myself last. I have to pay the band first, and what's left over I get to take, even though I'm working twice as hard. What do I get out of that? My name is on the marquee. So is that for ego? No. Okay, yes, it helps my ego, but I'm past that now. What it's for is that every time my name goes up on that marquee, every time my name is on the radio, every time my name is on that album, I'm giving myself job security in the future by cementing my name. Okay? So when musicians quit my band or leave or get fired or whatever, it's harder for them to start their own band because it wasn't, you know, Mike Guitar Junior Watson, right, on the marquee. So they're just, oh, I played with Jason. That's what they have to say to get the gig. I played with Jason. So it's harder. But had they had their name on the billing, that would have helped over the years. So every time we call it making your name. So what you're doing out there when you play is you're making your name. And in order to do that, like I said, you have to sacrifice all these things, right? Like health insurance is a big one, right? Time with your family. If you have kids, you're gonna have to have a partner that takes care of your kids, or you're gonna have to make a decision not to have kids. Music is going to be your kids. Not to have animals, or have somebody that takes care of them. And then when you get home, they don't know you, right? Or they don't know you as well as they know their caretaker. Money, a bank account, a stable bank account, all these kinds of things, right? So what do you get? Maybe you get some free harmonicas, right? You get some pedals, right? After 10 years, after 5 years, right? But you got to get in a van and you got to drive all over wherever you live, and then you got to, and most of the time, right? You got to go play with somebody else first, and you do whatever they say, and not have an opinion in that position, and you got to do that for a little while, and then learn kind of how they do it. And learn to shut up and do what you're told, and then you go out and you try it your way, all right? And then you try to be the best band leader you can, take the good from what you saw the other guy do and try to change the bad. And a lot of times you realize the things that you thought were bad that they were doing were actually better than what you were doing when you had the opportunity to change it. And people look at these awards and they see okay, Jason Ricci won the award. How come I haven't won the award? Or how come somebody else that I like as much or better than Jason Ricci hasn't won the award? Maybe somebody else that has also made a lot of sacrifices, right? Okay, let me get to that. So the awards, all right, in these gigs, they come to people, generally speaking, okay, not always, there's exceptions, but 90-something% of the time, they come to people that hustle. It's who made a record that year, who got on the blues cruise, who played the most festivals, who got in a van and went out and did the most gigs. That's how it works. And sometimes there's some behind-the-scenes shit. Who was on a record label that bought ad space with the people sponsoring the festival? Okay, look. Not trying to say there's not payola, that there's not favoritism, that there's not all these things. There absolutely is. But all of that is also coming from hard work, right? From other people making sacrifices, from other people buying the ad space that are employing artists that are working non-stop and not working in LaCroix, Florida, or wherever, it is, working all over the country, trying to reach as many people as possible. And people that have been doing this, not for a year or two, not for 5 years, but for 10, 20, 30 years. One of the things he writes too, right? I've been playing harmonica for over 30 years. Okay, so what? Right? There's lots of things I've been doing for over 30 years. I've been skateboarding since I was 10 years old. Okay, I'm almost 50, right? But I haven't been on a board in the last 2 years. It doesn't mean that I deserve to be Skater of the Year over whoever it is. It's about hours. It's about hard work. It's about what video parts did you drop that year? What risks did you take for your career? What sacrifices did you make? Has nothing to do with the amount of years. And second of all, to this guy, he's been playing over 30 years, up and on the road, damn near 30 years, right? 20 some odd years on the road. A lot goes into this. Nobody makes this shit overnight. Look, that's not true, okay? Look, there's circumstances of people that have been playing in other genres of music that come into blues music with some money and get put on a platform ahead of other folks. They have better billing, they have better festivals, they have better publicists, they have a better record label, they have better managers, and all of those better people position them at a spot that saves them 10, 20, 30 years of being on the road, right? Okay, so look, that happens, okay? It's life, right? That's business, right? You know, I got a buddy. He's a cigar. He's not a buddy of mine, but I love him. He doesn't know me really well, other than my comments. But his name's Lee Mackey. He's a cigar reviewer, and he said, you know, the golden rule, right? And we think of the golden rule as do unto others as you wish them to do to you, right? He said the golden rule is the one who with the most gold makes all the rules, right? That's the reality. That's the reality of the situation. Right? I accept that reality, and then I move and do what I want to. I'm not resentful of whoever has that money. Okay, sure, I see them sometimes, and I go, oh damn, of course they got that right. But anyway, look, it's not about years; it's about hours. Okay, and things are unfair, not just in the music industry, everywhere. Right? Everywhere, and this industry is no different. But I'm here to tell you that I don't know, I have not seen a case where, you know, Pat Ramsey used to say, this is the only business I know where hard work, raw talent, and perseverance guarantee you absolutely fucking nothing. Okay. So Pat was really cynical and he was funny. But I'll be honest with you guys. Right here, as much as I love Pat, and I'm looking up at his picture right now, Pat did not work as hard as other people. And one of the reasons that people don't know who Pat Ramsey is because he didn't get in a van and go out as much as Kim Wilson, as Mark Hummel, as Gary Primich, as William Clark, as me, okay? And that's why it didn't happen. He didn't put CDs in little envelopes and send them out. And when they called and said, we've never heard of you and we don't care how good your music is, instead of saying, okay, cool, look, give me a chance, I'll come in a little bit less money and make it work, he would say, fuck you, right? You know, and I understand that. And that's Pat's right to do that. But that's one of the reasons that we didn't see Pat more successful in his lifetime. There's a lot of unfair shit that happens. We can't control that. What we can control is our reaction to it and how we deal with it. It was easy for me to learn this in music and in the music business. It's been hard for me to learn this in life. That's what the song It Starts With Me was about, off of the new record. I'm trying to learn that now in life. So anyway, you can't blame people, and it doesn't solve anything. What you need to do is you need to go out and get the bookings. So I could have wrote back to this guy and told him some stuff like that. But there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And if I was kind, I would have taken the time to write this guy and tell him all this stuff. But here's the problem. I don't really think he would understand it, and I think he would get offended and confrontational. He also wrote that he's gay, and that helps his harmonica playing. So I don't think he knows too much about me. So I don't think he's really ready to listen to me. So instead of being kind and telling him some stuff he might not want to hear, that might be difficult to process, that would take me a lot of energy to write and to craft, because other people would be seeing it and it's on a forum. So I want to make sure that I'm saying the right thing, but I'm also, meaning what I say, but I'm not saying it mean. Right? That's hard. It's hard to write that, and it would be a giant paragraph. So I sent him the link to stay in college, and I said something like, keep rocking. So I was nice. Rather than being kind, I was nice. Now to you, Patreon, I'm being kind. I'm telling you the truth. If you want to succeed in this business, be ready for a life of poverty. Be ready for a life of sacrifice. I'm not here bragging or ranting and raving about how fucking awful it was for me. It hasn't been, all right? But there are beautiful things that I got out of this, and there are some not so beautiful things. Let me tell you a little bit more. some of you guys might look at me and think, well, geez, Jason's, he's good looking. It's not true. I got such a belly. But anyway, look. He's good looking. He's got he writes his own songs. He's got a band. He's hardworking. He makes all these YouTube videos. Blah, 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 blah. How come Jason's not more famous than he is? Well, look, some of that's unfair. Yeah, some of that's some stuff, right? But here's the other thing. First of all, I'm not for everybody. All right, I'm very, even though I'm not opinionated on Facebook or opinionated on Instagram, or in these days, I'm not even opinionated on YouTube, only here, right? There's a lot of stuff I sing and play about in the way I do it that's just not for everybody. I accept that because it's something that is true to me artistically, that my fan base may be limited. So I may not have 100,000 people at my show or even 1,000, but I got 100 or however that are going to drive from very far away to come see that show. Okay. Loyal fan base. But what's the other reason that I haven't succeeded more? My own fault. Drugs, alcohol, going to jail for a year at a time, a couple of times, missing gigs, relapses, my own inability to listen to people that told me what to do to take care of my mental health, to take care of my sobriety. Here's another one, laziness. I get older. I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it, right? Those are one of the reasons, right? Now, some of the other reasons too, right? Like these days are, I don't care anymore about being a big superstar. When I was young and skinny and had the beautiful different colored hair and was out on the road 300 days a year for 10 years in little vans with bands and sleeping in hotel rooms all crammed up together and riding 8, 12 hours a day, doing the gigs, tearing down, doing the gigs, tearing down, sometimes doing that 2, 3 times before we got into a room and got a shower, right? When I was doing all that, all right, I wanted to be a big superstar. Now, I want to be a better friend. I find more rewards teaching from home, being at home, being with Kate, being with the cat, being in the city that I finally found that I want to call home, New Orleans. I don't want to leave. I like it here, right? So when I accept that I'm going to be home with Kate, that I'm going to work with you guys, and I see some of my buddies climb in the ranks of the festival, I have to accept that I've made a decision that that's not is what I want as much. I would like to be home because I am making less sacrifices for that goal. So if that goal is a little diminished or doesn't rise up as much, that's my own fault. I can't blame anybody for that, right? I got more cat time than they did. I got more Kate time than they did. I got more cigar time. I got more Patreon time. I got more student time. I got to look into your beautiful eyes and watch the lights come on, okay? That's a different thing, all right? Now, I did that for many, many years, from 2000 up until 2018, 2019, right? Really, and the pandemic came, it just knocked me on my butt in a way that was better than ever before, where I had to start looking at like, oh my God, what have I been doing? Chasing this, right? And that was coming for a long time before that, right? It really culminated in 2010 with my relapse after 12 years of sobriety. I just didn't see that the more I got, the more I was going to want. The less happy I was with it when I got it. The more jealous I was of people that had received more. I don't want to live like that anymore, okay? So this guy who wrote me on this Facebook, well, I bet you his boyfriend and him are spending a lot of time together. I bet you that that when his Blues Brothers tribute band plays, they have a good gig, and I bet you they only have a 5-minute drive to sleep home in their own bed. That they don't write the songs so that if somebody doesn't like a song, well, whose fault is that? That's Dan Aykroyd's. It's John Belushi's fault. It's not their fault. It's not personal. When you write your own songs and you write your own music, it's personal when people don't like it. I don't care what you say. You may get a little thicker skin over the years, but it'll never completely go away. But when that song touches somebody in a beautiful way, that's also personal. That also makes you feel good on a level that couldn't be there before. So a tribute band is not going to win an award. A band that, not a blues music award, a band that plays in its own backyard and goes home every night, that doesn't write its own songs, isn't going to win an award. And a player that doesn't practice and spend all their time practicing, wondering how they're going to pay the bills because of the amount of hours and time that they put into it, they're not going to win an award, and they're not going to get any gigs, and they're not going to have a name. They're not going to make their name. You make your name by sacrifice, generally speaking. That's how it's done. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being one of the people in the tent backstage that's not the headliner, that's been on the road for 20 years eating celery and carrots and dipping them in the blue cheese with other people that you've been on the road with 10 or 20 years. There's a kinship there. I've watched people come back into them tents that bought their way onto the festival, that paid a booking agency $40,000, $50,000 to book them for a year. Instead of the booking agency making money, they paid them to make money, to get them on those festivals. And they came back into those little tents like, oh, hey, me too, guys, right? Me too, right? And we just looked at them. We got nothing but love for them. We love them. It's okay, right? But you hadn't been there. And it's not like we were rude to them or mean to them or anything, but they wanted in on that. And there is no in on that. You either did your time in the blues penitentiary or you didn't. Or you didn't. And if you're a new fish, well, welcome to the pond, baby. Okay? But at the same time, you're not going to walk in there and have the experience of being that. There's cats that I see back in those tents that don't like me and I don't like them, but we love and respect each other for having been there 10, 15, 20 years. They don't like my music. I play too many notes. I don't like their music. I think they're fake, whatever it is, but I still love and respect them because they've done the time. They've done the time. They've put in the sacrifices. They were away from their families. They didn't know where their next meal was coming from all the time. They paid the band before they paid themselves. All of that. Maybe this should go on YouTube. Something like it. Maybe, Kate says. This is heavy stuff, y'all. And it's not just for music. It's for everything. Everything. And it's hard, man. There's people out there that have physical disadvantages. People that have mental disadvantages. It's not fair. It's just like the wilderness. If your leg is hurt and you're out there, well, the bear's going to get you first before he gets the guy who didn't have the hurt leg. But maybe the dude with the hurt leg, he gets a little smarter and he figures out something else, a way to kill the bear, or he uses his brain, right? So we make adjustments. We take the things that we can't control. We stop blaming other people. Oh, if it wasn't for so-and-so throwing that rock at that duck, it wouldn't hit me in the leg, and now I wouldn't be eaten by the bear. Well, look, it's true. So-and-so threw a rock at a duck. Unga Bunga, the caveman, threw a rock at a duck, and he missed the duck and hit Rockabog in the leg, right? Now Rockabog's leg is fucked up. Okay, yeah, right, that shit happened. But now what? Unga Booga Bog's got to use his brain from here on out. He wants to blame Rockabog or whatever his name was, right? He wants to blame them for the rest of his life. Hey, you can do that. You can do that. I've done it. Didn't work out good for me. It didn't work out good to me until I started saying, okay, what can I do? And you got to do shit like this. You got to make a list. You got to put it on paper. You got to do it. You got to make a list of attainable goals, right? Some of them may not even seem attainable, but, realistic. What's the first thing I can do? Put the CD in a promo package and mail it to the club. What's the second thing I can do? Call the club. Ask them if they listen to the CD. What's the third thing I can do? After they say no and don't send me any more CDs, say, hey, listen, we'll come in for a little less. I know you don't know who I am. Admit where you're at. Accept where you're at. Make adjustments. Make sacrifices. If it doesn't work out the first couple of times, don't take no for an answer. If it doesn't work out the first couple of times, be polite. Don't be mean. Every time I've been an asshole, I paid for it. I'm paying for being an asshole with Rod. I'm not going to say the name. With a guy who runs a big organization in the blues. I was a dick to him in 2001. He's never forgotten. It's 2022. Looking back at it, I think I had the right to be a dick to him. I still think that, right?
Then he shouldn't forgive you.
Then he shouldn't forgive me, she said. Right. So I accept that I'm not going to do all the things that he runs. Right? That's my fault. That's me. Right? That's a decision I made, and now I have to suffer the consequences. Oh, you're naturally gifted, naturally talented. You just started playing harmonica yesterday and you're a champion harmonica player. No, man, it's hours and hours and hours of work. I wish I could play like you. Wish I could play like Howard Levy, right? But I could if I wanted to, right? I'd have to put in the sacrifice. Look at Konstantin Reinfeldt. He plays almost as good as Howard Levy. I guarantee, or better. I guarantee you that Konstantin practices much more than I do. I guarantee you that Konstantin does harder work than I do. Okay? Is he as cool as me? Of course not, right? Look, you know what I mean? But he's got that, right? And he gets to enjoy the fruits of that labor. Fruits that I will never know and never taste. What does it feel like to play a Charlie Parker solo on a diatonic? I probably don't know that, right? I probably will not ever know that, okay? Because he put in the sacrifice. He gets to feel that, okay? That's what it's all about. Look, guys, I got to go. I got to teach. For now, I'll put this up on Patreon. You guys let me know if you think it's suitable for YouTube, right? If you think it should go up there. Or if you just want it here for yourself so nobody can see it because you paid $1 a month or a little bit more. All right, maybe the world needs this information. Maybe you already knew already. Maybe that's why you're here, so that I can make some of the sacrifices so that you don't have to. I can get you there a little quicker. That's what I hope. That's why I do the YouTubes. Also, it brings in income. Also, Patreon brings in income. And without that income, I don't have time and hours to sit here and tell you all what's up. So thank you so much for making Kate and I's life incredible, where we can stay home in New Orleans, where we don't have to go on the road, where we can be with the cat, where we can give information to you. That's all because of you right here on Patreon. Also because of my sponsors, Blue Moon Harmonicas and Lone Wolf. Appreciate them. I don't know what I would do without them. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time. That's it. Later.